In the new real estate world, just because you have signed on the dotted line does not necessarily mean that you're going to get that home. There's a lot more to it. We've brought back in Kurt Franke with the law offices of Kurt A. Franke to talk about this process. And just because you've entered into a contract doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the home, right, Kurt?
That's right. You might have a contract, but that contract has conditions to it before it's finalized or before the final closing on the house. And those conditions have to be satisfied. Often it may depend upon somebody else being satisfied them, and often as a buyer it might be dependent upon you being satisfied.
I was about to say, this really protects both sides. Somebody entering into a piece of property that may have physical defects, that's what we're looking at with an inspection. We've talked about that for years. Or there may be other aspects to this, right?
Right. Often for the seller's protection, there might be a financing, the ability of that buyer to qualify for the financing. And that's why your show encourages people to get pre-qualified prior to going to making an offer on a home. Others can be an appraisal condition, and that protects the bank, really, and that the house has to appraise at that amount that they're trying to get financed. And then another could be the home inspection, where you have a home inspector come in and look for defects to that property.
So really, they're covering all sides, and this is so important these days when we're talking about covering the bank's tail, covering your own tail, covering the seller's tail, making sure that everybody is protected when this contract is executed.
That's right, Greg. I think a lot of people think that I've got a signed offer and acceptance, I've got a contract, I've got that house. And often that's not the case because these conditions have to be satisfied.
Now, if you're not sure if the conditions you have entered into are really, well, up to snuff, this is a great time to sit down with Kurt and make sure that somebody is not putting you through or making sure these conditions are inappropriate. Then sit down with you, right, Kurt?
That's right. You could call me at 827-6100, speak with Linda or Joe. They'd be happy to set up an appointment. Or you can go to my website, that's lokaf.com, LOKAF.com.
It's that simple. And make sure that this contract you're about to enter into is really beneficial to everybody involved, right, Kurt?
That's right. And if you feel you might want to get out of it, you might want to talk to an attorney at that point.
Very good. Thanks, Kurt. Always
Absolutely.
Good stuff.